To the extent that I am known at all, it's likely for my YouTube videos about Philadelphia connected artists. But I do believe my role as a nutritional lifestyle influencer should be much more widely recognized. And the two realms of art and edible plant appreciation sometimes have surprising overlaps. Let's examine the case of this superb artist, a Mr. Giovanni Casadei, who has been visiting Nancy and me for years on annual painting pilgrimages to Ocean City. Giovanni almost always has some habit that I end up adopting. One year, it was doing planks. This past summer, there were two new habits that I took from him. Immersing myself in the Brothers Karamazov and eating half of one of his bananas each morning. Noticed I said his bananas. Elder Zosima tells the Karamazov father that he must stop lying immediately, especially to himself. So yes, each morning when Giovanni would go out to paint, I'd steal one of his bananas and eat half of it. But eventually Giovanni returned to Philadelphia, so I had to purchase my own. Now, there's a little more to it than merely eating half a stolen banana. Indeed, I came up with what might be described as the world's healthiest breakfast snack, which I'm about to share with you. First step, to the supermarket. Bananas are surprisingly affordable these days. For our purposes, we want to select a small bunch that still has some green coloration. The Times of India reports, when bananas are green in color, be assured that they are full of high-resistant starch. If you are watching your diet and trying to avoid food high in sugar content, green bananas might be one of the healthiest food options for you. They might taste bitter as they contain less sugar. These unripe bananas also contain probiotic bacteria, which is really good for your digestive system. We are not quite done with our food shopping. What are we after? In the immortal rejoinder of General McAuliffe to the Germans demanding a surrender at Bastogne, nuts. And not just any nuts. What we are after are pure, unadulterated nuts, not flavored with anything, especially sugar or salt. I particularly recommend pecans and walnuts. The smarter viewer now probably thinks he knows what my snack breakthrough entails. Some kind of combination of bananas and nuts. But you really need to follow my instructions carefully for optimal results. Think of me as the General McAuliffe of breakfast snacks. Step 1. Firmly grasp a banana and carefully slice it in half, trying to make each half as close to being equal to the other as possible. Step 2. Place one of the two halves into a storage bag for the following day. Step 3. Carefully peel today's half. The removal of stringers is optional. Step 4. Begin slicing the banana into sections that are roughly 3/8 of an inch thick. You may require a yardstick when you first attempt this step, but eventually you'll be able to slice accurately without measuring. And it's no biggie if you're off by a 32nd of an inch or so. Step 5. Place each slice non-contiguously on the plate and in a fully horizontal position. Step 6. Open your nutsack and gently sprinkle a handful of your nuts onto the plate. On the first day, choose pecans. On the next day, switch to walnuts and keep up that alternating pattern. Step 7. Carefully place a nut on each banana wedge. If a nut is small or broken, you can and should add another small or broken nut to that slice. Now that the breakfast snack is prepared, here's some tips on how best to enjoy it. Definitely pair this snack with coffee. That's black coffee, no sugar, cream, or fat of any kind. Eat slowly and chew well, taking delight in each delicious bite. Now there are 2 methods of moving the snack from your plate to your mouth. One is what I call the stab. The other is the scoop. On a number of occasions, I have dropped my snack while employing the stab method. This has never occurred when I use the scoop method. And so I wholeheartedly recommend scooping your snack. If it is your custom to read the newspaper, stop for this snack and instead savor the wisdom of the brothers Karamazov. You will be surprised at how relevant Dostoevsky's words are for today's chaotic times. Above all, don't lie to yourself. The man who lies to himself and listens to his own lie comes to a point that he cannot distinguish the truth within him or around him, and so loses all respect for himself and for others. And having no respect, he ceases to love. When enjoying this snack, meditate on how we used to fight the Nazis rather than imitate them. Thanks, Giovanni, for your friendship, your wisdom, and for forgiving me my thievery. I almost cried when you said, "John, I bought those bananas not just for me, but for you and Nancy too. And since you cannot steal something that belongs to yourself, you don't need my forgiveness." My fellow Americans, let's all try to be a little more like Giovanni.